Dubai has 3.8 million people, but not all of them are living in the same city. That is the part nobody talks about when they post their golden hour reels from the Burj Khalifa. On the surface, Dubai looks like one place, one skyline, one story, one dream. But underneath that surface, two completely different worlds exist side by side, sharing the same roads, the same air, and almost nothing else. And to truly understand what happened to Dubai in early 2026, you first have to understand both of those worlds, because what changed affected each of them in ways that could not have been more different from each other. Before we go any deeper, if you are new here, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss our latest updates on Dubai and stories like this one. Start with the numbers, because the numbers themselves tell a story. Most people have never heard of Dubai's 3.8 million residents. Only around 400,000 are Emirati nationals, roughly 11% of the total population. The remaining 89% are expatriates and migrant workers who came from somewhere else, built lives here, and keep this city functioning every single day. Within that enormous expatriate population of approximately 3.5 million people, there are two worlds so different from each other that calling them part of the same city almost feels inaccurate. The first world is the one that fills your social media feed. Around 200,000 high-income expatriates, finance professionals, tech executives, business owners, and investors primarily from Europe, North America, Russia, and the Gulf states, live in a Dubai that most of the world recognizes instantly. Glass apartments overlooking the Arabian Gulf, rooftop pools with skyline views, restaurants where a single dinner costs more than most people in the world earn in a week. This is the Dubai of the 72,000 millionaires and over 200 ultra-high net worth individuals who have made the city one of the top 10 destinations globally for wealth concentration. These are the people whose lives fill the travel content that generates millions of views. Influencers flown in and hosted in five-star properties, handed curated experiences, and sent home to post content that makes Dubai look like the closest thing to paradise the modern world has produced. And in their version of Dubai, it genuinely is. The infrastructure works flawlessly, the service is extraordinary, and the experience is engineered to impress at every single touchpoint. But 12 kilometers away from that rooftop bar, in a concrete accommodation block with no windows and 4 broken fans, 12 men are lying on thin mattresses in 44-degree heat. Phones face down. Quiet. Some of them have not spoken to their families in weeks, because every dirham they earn is already committed to the transfer they send home at the end of the month. These men did not come to Dubai to struggle. They came because someone in their village told them Dubai was the dream. And they believed it so deeply that their families sold land, borrowed money from neighbors, and watched them board a plane with hope packed into every bag they carried. They built every tower you photographed. They made every hotel bed you slept in. They poured every road you drove on. And their story is the one that almost never gets told. The scale of Dubai's blue-collar workforce is genuinely difficult to comprehend until you sit with the numbers for a moment. The construction sector alone employed over 700,000 workers in 2025, the vast majority of them migrant laborers from South Asia. Indian nationals made up the single largest expatriate group in the entire city, numbering approximately 1.2 million people. Pakistani nationals accounted for around 600,000, and Bangladeshi nationals numbered approximately 250,000. Workers from Nepal, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, and across Southeast Asia filled the hospitality, cleaning, delivery, security, and domestic service sectors that keep the luxury experience running smoothly around the clock. The hotel and food service industry alone employed an estimated 250,000 people across Dubai's 818 hotels and 152,000 rooms, with the luxury and ultra-luxury segment accounting for around 67% of the total room inventory. The average monthly wage for a low-income migrant construction or hospitality worker in Dubai sat between $200 and $400. In a city where a hotel breakfast costs $80 and shared accommodation in the outer districts runs to $150 or more per person per month, that income left almost nothing after the basics were covered. And yet these workers were not in Dubai for themselves. They were there for the families at home. The total value of remittances flowing out of the UAE in 2024 reached approximately $43 billion, placing it among the very highest remittance-sending countries on Earth. For the families receiving those monthly transfers in towns and villages across Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Nepal, that money was not supplementary. It was everything: school fees, medical bills, loan repayments, and daily meals. All of it depending on one person, thousands of kilometers away, staying healthy and staying employed. Many of these workers arrived in Dubai carrying debt that had been accumulated just to get there. Recruitment agents in home countries were charging between $1,000 and $3,000 per placement, fees that families paid by selling livestock, borrowing from neighbors, or taking loans against their homes. A worker earning $300 a month, sending $200 of it home, would need well over a year just to repay the debt created by getting the job in the first place. And so they stayed, worked, and sent money home, month after month, year after year, sustained by the knowledge that somewhere far away, their sacrifice was keeping a family afloat. By 2025, the machine they were all part of was running at full capacity. Dubai International Airport was processing over 95 million international passengers annually, an average of 260,000 people every single day, making it the busiest international airport on the planet for the 11th consecutive year. Nearly 20 million tourists were visiting the city each year, spending an average of $2,200 per visit according to Dubai tourism figures. And then February 2026 arrived, and everything both of those worlds had been counting on suddenly became uncertain. Regional tensions that had been building for some time reached a critical point in late February 2026. A significant security incident involving aerial activity over parts of the UAE created immediate and widespread concern both inside the country and across the globe. While authorities responded and managed the situation as effectively as they could, the images and reports that traveled across international media within minutes created a perception shift that no official statement could immediately reverse. Dubai International Airport, which had been moving 260,000 passengers per day with seamless efficiency and handling approximately 2.7 million metric tons of cargo annually, was temporarily disrupted. Flights were paused, airspace was affected, and a city whose entire global identity rested on the promise of safety, control, and flawless connectivity suddenly found itself in a conversation it had never prepared for. The numbers that followed were stark and arrived fast. Within 7 days, hotel occupancy across the city dropped by an estimated 35 to 60% compared to the same period the previous year. In premium areas like downtown Dubai and Palm Jumeirah, internal industry reports suggested some properties fell below 20% occupancy almost overnight. Daily revenue losses at the peak of the disruption were estimated at up to $500 million. Across the broader Middle East region, analysts projected a potential loss of between 23 and 38 million tourists across 2026, representing a financial impact of between $34 and $56 billion. For the wealthy expat and the business owner, this was a serious financial disruption, real losses, real uncertainty, and real stress that should not be minimized. But they had savings, they had options, and most critically, they had the ability to wait it out. For the migrant worker, the situation was something completely different. When hotel occupancy falls below 20%, management does not reduce salaries gradually. It reduces shifts immediately. And when shifts disappear for a worker earning $300 a month with $200 of it already committed to the family transfer back home, there is no buffer. There is no savings account to draw from. There is no alternative income waiting on the other side. According to labor welfare estimates, over 60% of Dubai's low-income migrant workforce had savings equivalent to less than 1 month of living expenses at any given time. A 2-week disruption to regular income was not an inconvenience for these workers. It was an immediate crisis with consequences that extended far beyond Dubai. To a family in Karachi waiting for a transfer that did not arrive, to school fees in Dhaka that could not be paid, to loan repayments in Kathmandu that fell behind for the first time. The man who laid the marble floor of a penthouse selling for $10 million. The woman who cleaned the hotel room of a guest who never once wondered who she was. The security guard standing at the entrance of a shopping mall that generates more revenue in a single day than he earns in an entire year. Every single one of those people is part of what Dubai is. And when Dubai stopped, their world did not just pause. For many of them, it collapsed, quietly, without headlines, and without anyone outside their immediate family ever knowing it had happened. Before we get into the recovery, if you are new here and this story is connecting with you, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification because we are going to keep following this story all the way through to the end. Dubai has recovered before and it will recover again. But this time, real recovery means more than full hotels and busy airports. It means the worker from Kerala gets his shifts back. It means the laborer from Lahore can send money home again. It means the families waiting in silence on the other side of the world can finally breathe. That is the recovery worth watching for. And we will be here every step of the way covering it.